After John List killed his wife, mother, and 3 children, he assumed a new identity, remarried, and started a new life until American Most Wanted led the police to him. John List was born in September 17, 1925, to German-American parents John Frederick List and Alma Barbara Florence List. In 1951, John List got married to Ellen Taylor. Together, they both had 3 children, Patricia, Frederick, and John Jr. In 1965, John List accepted a job as the vice president at a bank in New Jersey. So he moved in with his family and his mother to a 19-story mansion in Westfield, New Jersey. John's family was very perfect on the outside, but on the inside it was exact opposite. John's wife was an alcoholic and she had contracted syphilis from her first husband. In 1962, John lost his job. He was too embarrassed to tell anybody he lost his job. He couldn't tell his wife, his mother, his family. So he gets up every morning, dress up, and go out like he was going to work. And then he comes back home. As the money begins to deteriorate because he's not working and he's not earning, he begins to steal money from his mom's bank account. I don't know, somehow he has access to it because he's her only son. He begins to steal money from his mom's bank account to pay bills, and all this while his family are not aware that he lost his job, he has no money. On November 1971, 5 years after John lost his original job, he does the unthinkable. That morning, after dropping the kids off at school, he returned home and then he walked inside the house, walked straight to his wife of 20 years, and then he shot her dead. He then went to the other apartment where his 84 years old mother lives, and then he shot her as well. He then waited for his children. When 16 years old Patricia and 13 years old Frederick got back from school, he attacked them from behind and them as well. He then made himself some lunch, ate, and went straight to the bank to close his bank account and mother's bank account, and then went straight to Westfield High School where his son was playing soccer game. He watched his son play and drove him back home. Immediately he got home, he attacked him. John Frederick tried to fight back, but he sustained multiple gunshots and gave up. John carried Patricia, Frederick, and John Jr.'s body and piled them on top of each other. He left Alma's body there because I guess she was too heavy for him to carry, and then he wrote a letter to the school, the children's school, that they won't be available, they won't be around for a while because they'll be visiting a sick relative. That means he planned this very well. John just went to all their photo album, tore out his face on all the family photos, every picture that has his face, he took his face out. He then sat down, listened to some refreshing Christian music, and then he left. By the time the bodies were found, about a month later, John List was already long gone. John List was the immediate main suspect for the murders, so the police really didn't have much to do because they couldn't circulate an immediate photo of him because he already took out his photos from the photo album. John List, the family car was found at JFK Airport, but John List was nowhere to be found for almost 18 years. John List relocated 2,000 miles away. He took on a new identity of the guy he was going to school with. So John List is now Robert Clark, going as Bob. So he got a job as a chef. So he was just working, doing his stuff. Meanwhile, the nation is looking for John List, while John List is now Robert Clark. aka Bob. For the next 18 years, John will be living a normal, peaceful, quiet life, and he even like goes to work, live his life peacefully. He even attends a church, and in that church he met a woman, Deveras Miller. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then they both fell in love and got engaged. Dolores Miller, she thinks she has found a perfect husband. She even got married to him. Like, this is the man she has been praying for. She actually got married to Robert Clark, Bob. Meanwhile, he is actually John List, the man the police has been looking for killing his entire family. John List's boss, Bob, at this new job, like, saw him like as a dedicated worker. He always shows up in time, he's always at work, and he told his boss that he works as an accountant, so they got him a better job somewhere else. Him and his wife moved to Virginia. At this time, American Most Wanted was a hit. American Most Wanted was a show where they look for unsolved mysteries of criminals that have been on the run. So at this point, when they brought the John List case to American Most Wanted, it was declined because this guy has been missing for over 2 decades. You haven't got nothing on him, no photos, no nothing. So some way, somehow, they convinced them to like take up the case, and they like got a photo of him somehow. So they got a guy that could like make a sketch of what John List will be looking like now, like 20 years later. They did a sketch. This was how John List was looking like 20 years ago, and this was the sketch that they made of him. So, John List is always watching this American Most Wanted. He always talks to his neighbors about it, that they should watch it. He's always watching it. And he also made an interview where he said that, he always thought about maybe one day he's going to come up in American Most Wanted. John List was sitting home one night and with his wife, and his face comes up on American Most Wanted. It was all cool watching it, like it wasn't him. His wife didn't even blink an eye because she never thought her husband is John List. And calls started coming in, people started giving tips, and John List's neighbor also made a call. He said, this guy on TV, John List, looks so much like my neighbor Robert Clark. So the police started making an investigation, and in 1999, John List was arrested on 5 counts of murder. John List went on trial and he was found guilty, and the judge gave him 5 consecutive life sentences on 5 counts of murder. John never accepted he did anything wrong because, according to him, he did it to save their soul. He did it so they can all go to heaven, and he believes he's going to see them one day. He's going to see them in heaven one day. And in 2008, John List died in prison of pneumonia.